So first of all, you shouldn't have been messing with the equipment. Why were you messing with the equipment?
because
Don't fix what's not broken.
because I was trying to use this microphone and this headphone set of headphones because you have the microphone and headphones, and we
No,
spent
I'm
a
all fancy, and then I can't hear the dogs as
fair.
well.
Oh, see, we spent an inordinate amount of money on some equipment here, and
You don't get to use it.
it's hit and miss on using it.
Oh, I don't think it's the equipment, baby.
What?
Hey, y'all.
Hey y'all,
I'm Robyn.
I'm Ryan, and Robyn's getting her digs in on me, and this,
Nah.
yeah, totes, totes.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm scared to mess with anything right now.
Don't touch anything. Don't
Well,
push any
the
buttons.
problem is I've got two screens going, and the screen I had to move it because I turned. You may notice, um, I turned my computer around so that I've got a better background in the kitchen of this place right
Right?
now, right? And it's just everything's bass backwards right now.
I have wall and curtain.
I have door and
Zoom
blackness.
meetings at work. Everybody has these fantastical backgrounds, like from Disney movies and beautiful places.
Mm-hmm.
And some things that I'm like, I don't know what that is, but all I can think about is we're not supposed to download anything except like our approved background. So I'm like, am I the only one who knows that? Like, and also I'm just lazy. I'm like, there's my laundry room, guys. If you want to look at it, look at it.
There's also the fact that you could be an attorney that gets stuck with a cat head.
Love that guy. By the way,
Although
Judge, I'm not a cat.
I have it
Thank
from a
you.
pretty good source that wasn't necessarily as accidental as might have been led to believe.
Well, it made him internet famous, and I don't know
It
if it
it
made him
did
internet famous for the right reasons, but hey, famous fame, right?
it did.
Kanye?
Home Dude did not have as good a case possibly going into the trial as maybe that's what the theory, the
That's
running theory
funny.
in legal circles, according to Legal Wing, is that he had a piss poor case going in. So in order to disrupt everything, and
Be a cat.
he had an intern there that was like our kids' generation.
Oh, so
So
she knew how to do that.
yes, so
So if you're
maybe
guilty, have your attorney use a bad filter.
right.
Nice. Nice.
I know I killed 3 people in the nightclub that night, but I need you to be a cat.
Okay, so tonight, Nate and I just finished dinner right before this, and I am guilty of child abuse.
Wait, first off, I doubt that seriously. But how is Nate?
He's great, except I made him eat Beyond Meat burgers, um, the vegan fake meat burgers.
Oh my God.
I know, I know. He had an opinion from start to finish.
He's probably missing me, and I'm not even related to him.
He had an opinion literally from when I brought them out of the fridge till probably I was
That
putting dishes in the dishwasher.
so
So I asked him, I was like, do you want me to make you meat tomorrow for dinner? And he was like, I love meat. And so it's between deer meat that might be in the freezer and chicken and beef. And yeah, actually, he said, I love real meat. And I was like, yeah, I got that.
yeah.
Sorry. Sorry.
He is a high school senior that's ran cross country for the last however long, and played other sports and done whatever. He's a pretty tuned athlete.
Yeah. And I don't think Beyond Beef or Beyond Meat burgers apparently cut it. So
I'm gonna go with no.
lesson learned. Lesson learned. Got to give the kid therapy reasons for, I don't know. He's got to have some sort of reason for therapy someday. So there you go.
By the way, what are you wearing on? What is that beanie on your head? I've not seen that one. It
Oh, Grace made this like years ago for me. It's like
looks like
green.
it looks like
Looks
camo.
like grass. It looks like grass, right? No, it's
I gotta
actually like
borrow that
llama
thing to go.
fur.
I gotta borrow that thing during elk and deer season.
Yeah, it's like llama wool or some sort of funky wool that Grace made me years ago. So
I know, but it looks like camo.
it's really not. And if you saw it in person, I don't think you'd want to wear it. It's very, very cute.
It's cute.
Yeah, but you are welcome to it.
Okay.
So what's going on? What's new in the world?
Uh,
Learn me.
about what? Oh, before we go too terribly far, massive shout out to my friend Randy Loya and Tia,
Oh yeah,
who
congratulations.
got married. I was
Yeah.
watching their wedding take place online as they got married in Texas, and I'm way up here in the state that's shaped like your left hand. And so
That's very exciting for
it
them.
it was cool.
Congrats.
It was cool.
So that
So
happened this weekend.
yeah,
House passed the stimulus package that goes to the Senate this week.
saw that.
Does not include $15 an hour minimum wage. So
Here's the thing on here's where I'm at on that. The Senate parliamentarian
mhm.
shot that down. This is the first time I've ever heard that one used as an excuse for anything.
So apparently they get down to the nitty-gritty details of what can and cannot be included, especially when something is not going to be held to a 2/3 vote.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we hear. I think that's the back end of the process that we don't hear very often. Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
I was trying to remember. I've never heard anything used as I've never heard any other excuse, any of this used ever. Going all the way
I
back
don't
to
think
when
it's an excuse. I think it's looking at the detail. I don't
well,
think
okay,
it's an
so
excuse.
maybe not. Maybe excuse is not the right word. I've never heard parliamentary procedure used as a reason to get anything in or out of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I do, but
Anything
I
but that
don't
word.
think that we've ever most of us haven't cared to pay attention until like the last 4 to 12 years
I'm
to a
going.
lot of the nitty gritty details. And
I'm,
I don't think that they've been readily available like they are now because everything is now we're paying
that's
attention.
true. I was trying to remember all the way back to college, but when I was in college, it would have been it would have had to come out in print. I would have had to have seen it. It would have been in one of the Washington papers.
You were
Yada yada.
distracted by like Wednesday night two
What?
for ones and yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Who have you been talking to, madam?
No. So that's going. They'll try to put the $15 an hour minimum wage in to something else. And then it will get filibustered into oblivion. So
Yeah.
I will say in Colorado, I think minimum wage right now in Colorado is actually almost $12 an hour.
Right.
And I dare say it has not hurt the state at all. And most companies pay well more than that. I think Chick-fil-A and like fast food starts at $13 or $14 an hour in Colorado. And I don't think our
Well,
Chick-fil-A is extraordinarily more expensive than it is in Texas.
okay. So in some states, you have a very high standard of living. Colorado being one of them.
Right.
And you have some states, and this is where Joe Manchin came in, Democrat of West Virginia, is like, you know, some businesses in West Virginia can't do that. You know, some in Colorado can, some in West Virginia can't.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I think that we are a good example of it if it happens slowly, because it did happen slowly. When they raised it to $7.25 an hour, Colorado went a step further and they did graduated raisings every year of I think less than $1 an hour for several years.
Right.
And they even raised like wait staff were $2.13 an hour, are still $2.13 an hour in a lot of places, I think. And it just shows that it can be done. So I think doing something graduated and doing something with some benefits for small business owners might be something that they should think about.
Yeah, you got to be careful though, because like I said, you throw $15 on them overnight.
And
Graduated
I
one
don't
day.
think anybody's talking about that. I actually don't. I haven't heard that. I've heard the bill, what they were trying to put in was by 2025. And I think that was even a little more, I think that was along the lines of Colorado, like what they did. So it wasn't overnight.
You know who I've met in person that is actually, to use the terms of that the kids are using these days, he's ball and shot calling. Okay, so you know, in every employment office anywhere in the world, in every office, it doesn't matter if it's fast food or big offices or whatever. Don't do that. Don't do that to me.
Just kidding. Land the plane, dude.
The employment poster that you have up.
Yes. The
Okay.
EEOC. Yes.
I only know of one person in the world that makes that poster, and they have to make it for federal, state, and local. And there's so many locals that I met this guy. He flew an airplane and landed it on Lake Travis, and the house was down a little bit from my brother's place there. And at first, it sounds like there's no way this guy's making that kind of money until he started explaining it. And it's like, no, you don't understand. San Francisco, the city of, has their own rules. New York has their own rules. LA has their own whatever. So multiply that times every employer in each of those cities has to have that poster up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 100,000 employers, let's say. That's just an easy number. They all have to pay him that for that, and then LA has, and so he's there. His company is doing nothing but making that poster for all of his employers all over the country, all of the time. So I'm sure he's happy. I'm sure he's like sitting there going, "Yay, $15!" Because everybody's got to get new posters now.
That's capitalism at its best.
I
That
mean,
man can get filthy rich off a poster.
I've been in the house that he bought on Lake Travis. It's not small.
Go poster man.
Do what?
Came up with it. I said, go poster man. Like,
go poster guy. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that'll be interesting to watch.
I'm not mad
interesting to see it get filibustered and it'll come back because people, vast majority of people who make minimum wage are not teenagers. So
we'll see. I'll see how this goes. I'm not in favor of happening overnight. I'll put it that way.
I don't think anybody is making that argument, but yeah, I think it's overdue. So that's what I brought to the table. How about you?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Watch the. Want to talk about the golden calf?
The golden calf.
Explain that to me, Mr. Republican.
That was made in Mexico.
Explain that to me.
That was made in Mexico by a former minister who specifically went on record and said that it was not to be misconstrued as an idol or a golden calf.
It was a golden statue of a man.
It was actually fiberglass covered in chrome.
Yeah, I mean, it is Trump. It's not real gold.
If it were actual gold, it would have been a little heavier. It was 200 pounds.
If it was gold, it would have been Trump's toilet, but most of his gold flakes off.
I ain't mad at the golden toilet now. If I could have a golden toilet, I would too.
God, that sounds cold. I'm sorry. Did they not see the irony in that though? And the visual? No.
Dude was an artist. No, he's legitimately an artist. He's an expat, lives in Mexico, former minister, and built a
minister of what?
Just minister at a church. I'm guessing, if I had to guess, Southern Baptist.
You could be a minister of a lot of things. That doesn't give you like street cred for like being close to God. You can be a minister of a lot of things.
That's also true.
Did he read the Old Testament?
Jesse Jackson. Do what?
Did he read the Old Testament? I'm just curious. Did he?
I'm guessing he did.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to go that he did, but he specifically also is on record in the media as saying it's not to be misconstrued as an idol or a golden calf or whatever. And he was
even though it's gold and it's an idol.
I mean, I would have made it out of gold too. I would have made it out of, what other color are you going to use?
Well, the statues that were up and around all over the world for Trump, not for Trump, of Trump. Yeah,
balloons,
a little different.
Baby Trump.
Yeah. Statues I saw in 2016 and
in
Central Park.
I saw that in countries that
I actually happened to be in Central Park when one of those was up. I landed that day and I was like, that man will never be president.
I saw it in European countries that are the ones that we pay for their national defense. So,
we don't pay for their national defense. We pay into a fund for an organization that we are part
Guaranteed, if tanks started coming across their border, they'd start screaming. Guaranteed.
We pay to be part of an organization with them. If you go back to World War II, which I'm sure you know about NATO and So gold statue, golden calf. What else? Explain that. Okay, so CPAC.
Yeah,
CPAC was quite the weekend.
It was rowdy.
Had a ton of fun.
I only
had Cruz. His jokes fell a little flat.
Hang on a second. I've never been to CPAC. I've thought about. Sad. Do what?
I'm not sad.
Well, you would think that I would have made the attempt by now at least once, and I haven't. Going to some of those things is not exactly my style. Going to all the conventions, I've been to a few on the state level. Saw Ted Cruz, saw Uncle Teddy doing his stand up.
Yeah,
I
he
thought
should
that
stick to his day job.
I thought it was kind of funny him making fun of himself for going to Cancun.
A, it wasn't funny. His
It was.
constituents died. And
What?
B, that man is not a comedian. Um,
No, but I'm thinking I'm gonna grow the hair. Like I got it. It's
what
real.
is that? He
I
looks like he just woke up with a dead hooker
whoa, 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 whoa,
in
whoa,
a
whoa!
hotel
You don't get to
room.
throw
Like
the dead hooker out there.
he just looks like such a hot mess. I'm like, have
There's
you
two things
bathed?
every
Do you
politician.
smell? Do you
What?
smell? He looks like he smells. Like I look at him and I'm like, that man smells like onions.
Mm-mm. There's two
I,
things every politician doesn't want to get caught with. That's a dead girl or a live boy.
I didn't even go there.
I'm
But
just saying.
seriously, like I look at him and I'm like, does his wife hate him? Because I'm sorry, but if you left the house with that haircut and that facial hair and that suit, I'd be like, oh, honey. Or
Mm.
else it would be a sign that I hated you. Like, it makes me hurt. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about
So,
Ted. Golden
so
calf.
while I have been here in the state of Michigan, I have gotten my first state of Michigan haircut.
And you survived. Look at you.
Do you
How
know how
was it?
hard? Do you know how hard it is for a hair model like me
Oh,
to break
fuck. Are we
in?
going to? I'm sorry, mother. I cannot help but cuss when he brings that up again. You know, when couples have been together long enough that somebody says something for the 6,000th time and the
Mhm.
other person has to fight to know if they pretend like they've never heard it before or, oh, honey, how's your haircut?
It's you.
It looks
You.
good. It looks nice
Yeah, thank you. But I got it. I'm trusting this person.
with hair.
Well, it's not just hair that does regrow.
It's just hair.
No, like so. I think you were surprised. You told me this a few weeks ago when I was in Colorado. I was shopping for blue jeans, and I told you going to Cavender's, or we wound up going to the Boot Barn to look for blue jeans, and you said you were used to dudes going to like Nordstrom or some whatever, right? Am I right?
You are.
Is that true?
It's
Okay,
100% true.
so get my blue jeans at the Cavender's or the Boot Barn, but I am a
They had nice
complete
stuff. They had nice
I'm a
stuff.
complete and total diva about who does my hair. Like
Your
I have
hairstyle regimen says Nordstrom's jeans. Just saying.
no,
It
I'm
does. It really
no.
does. Yeah.
Mm,
It doesn't say I shop at Cavender's.
I'm sorry, but
You have more products than I do.
I know, but there's also a reason for. I mean, I go and meet people, and it's what I do for a living is being in front of people, and
With a hat
oh,
on.
sometimes, not always, not always.
Can you hear that?
I hear a dog.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Oh,
Is Dempsey back?
he is.
Son of a.
I know. His adopted mom is brokenhearted, and I felt like the worst person in the world taking him, but she realized that he was a little too much energy for her and that he really needs kids or other dogs or something. And so she actually like loved him. Oh my gosh, she gave me pages of notes on him, which was the cutest thing ever. But just realized
Mhm.
that he was just a little much for her and that she was not quite what he needed. So
So this is the dog
yeah,
that I personally named Hank.
yeah,
What I'm worried about for Hank or Dempsey or whatever his name is.
is them to fall in love with him and you're gonna come
No,
home and
well,
he's gonna
there's
be on your side of the
that.
bed.
There's
Yeah,
that. Now, if we could heartbeat elimination one of the other dogs,
don't say that because Mutsy has not been herself lately. So don't say that because I'll be really sad. I'm not ready for her to die, even though she's an 11-year-old pug.
okay. My point is, he's not the worst dog in the world, but
I know.
and he's got that bulldog head or that pit bull head. I'll say.
He looks like he should be so mean, but he's sweet with kids. He's sweet with other dogs, except he and Bella play really hard. Um, he's just sweet. He
That's
falls asleep with his stuffed animals in his little arms like he's a little kid. I mean, he's just the sweetest boy. I think he was
so
probably abandoned because they wanted a guard dog and they couldn't make him mean.
well. I'm thinking, yeah, that's probably true. Or they could have thought they had fighting dogs and he wasn't mean, or he's
No,
whatever. And he's not
no.
he's not a full pit bull. I want to be clear about that. You can tell he's got something else in him.
Yeah, that
But
curly tail is
he's got
weird.
that pit bull head where you can tell he's got a little bit of something in him.
Yeah.
But I bet if he started like, getting fed 3 meals a day and, laying around the house, whatever, and somebody did actually come in the house doing something, they were up to shenanigans, he'd probably chainsaw somebody's leg off. I think he would. I think he's that kind of dog.
I don't know.
Real subtle, real
Insurance
cool.
agent in me is going to say no, he would never.
No, he would never.
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Having known Cooper as long as I did, he might.
If you could see him right now, he's got all of his toys piled around him. Like he's pulled them all up on his bed. So yeah, he's back. I'm trying to find him a new home that's a better fit. And yeah, it's
need to
kind of
find
sad,
a good fit
but
for him. I know, because
yeah,
he's been on the kill list at the kennel, and then he was rescued, and you had him for a while, and then did the thing, and then gave him,
yeah. But she loved him, and he was spoiled rotten for a week. It's just too much.
Man, so he's back.
He's been living the good life, though. It's not like he's been. Yeah, he's good.
So we have a dog.
CPAC. Let's go back to that.
More to
I have
CPAC?
a question. Yeah, I have a question for you.
Now, please keep in mind, I didn't watch.
Okay.
I don't watch this stuff very much unless I'm in it or I'm right there, like whatever. So, but please, yes, sure.
Can you explain the? I don't know, like the floor of that. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
It's a Nazi rune.
Easy.
No, look at it. No, I'm just like, how did they miss that? I don't think it was intentional. We were talking about this earlier. I don't think it was intentional, but it was one of those things. Like, remember that building when we were in New Mexico that you were like, those are swastikas on that building? That was
in Raton.
Yeah.
That was way up there. And that building was built before World War II.
Yes, but swastikas. But we were both like, they didn't mean those to be swastikas. This kind of felt the same, but did nobody notice that those were a Nazi rune? Like, am I saying that right? R-U-N-E? It's one of those words I read.
I took 2 years of German in high school, and I'm not picking up.
Have you not seen it?
No.
It's actually kind of funny because you're like, I hate like Godwin's law. There's nothing worse to me than when somebody can't win an argument on the internet, so then they pull the Nazi card. I hate that. I do. But
welcome to being a conservative.
Well, you did have people who have marched with Nazi flags. But this, I was like, did they not miss this? Were they not a little sensitive to this? Like, yeah, you'll have to look at it. I had to laugh when I saw it because I was like, somebody effed up.
I'm gonna go with it's highly unlikely that it was.
Well, I don't think it was intentional. I just think it's funny that they missed that. Come here. You want to be on camera?
And then you bring the dog in.
Yeah. Never mind Godwin's law. If I just bring a cute dog, he may hang up on you.
Bring a cute dog in. I have no argument. Damn it.
Oh, hi. I win. I win everything.
Got a different collar on. That's a new collar to me.
I know. He has a snazzy new collar that has Kathy's phone number. I mean, crap, I wasn't supposed to say her name.
That's okay. All right.
Actually, she was the sweetest and most selfless person. So, yeah.
She was sweet to take you. Just not a good fit. We'll
go on.
Find somebody else.
All right. His 15 seconds of fame are good. All right. What else you got? I'll let you go. I got lots. I'm caffeinated.
It's really? Why are you caffeinated?
I haven't been drinking coffee, and then I had coffee at brunch today, and I think it's still in my system because apparently it has a long half-life.
Did you have the Black Rifle coffee that I sent you?
Oh, that's amazing. First of all, I love the coffee cups. Nate and I both like go straight for those coffee cups first thing, but I have this descending order of coffee cups now. I have those. I have my friend Melanie Henn's Fairway Mortgage cups that she sent me, and yeah, goes from there. But the coffee is lovely. Thank you. Lovely. I'm trying not to drink it all.
Most of that stuff has a pretty good kick to it.
Yeah. So I drank I had it a couple of days last week, and I was like, why am I not sleeping at night? Like, yeah, seriously, I'm like lying awake at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, I think it's the coffee because I usually drink tea when you're not here. Yeah, I usually drink tea when you're not here, and oh my god, like seriously, I was like, what is wrong with me? And then Nate mentioned the coffee, so
yeah. Okay. I think I haven't had it for a few days, and then I had coffee at brunch today. So if I'm up all night, I'll text you. I
throughout
think
the
I'm
night.
so caffeinated most of the time that because I can drink 2 cups of coffee and then take a nap. You know what I mean? It's like
Have you always been like that? Because I'm pretty
it
sure there could be a world war going on outside, and if I said you want to take a nap, you'd be like, already
it
there.
it feels like it. Yeah. I don't know that I always have, but it feels like I have.
I'd like to hear if your mother agreed with that. Like if she said, yes, you have
I
always been.
remember when my parents discovered that Dr. Pepper and I were not meant to be in the same room at the same time. And that was about the 6th or 7th grade ish.
That's
Uh,
funny.
that was, yeah. And so as time evolved, and then I wasn't allowed to have Dr. Pepper for a while, so I'd sneak them. And then, because they were like, it was like the devil. So I would,
Oh, I love Dr. Pepper once a year.
yeah, I hadn't had a loaded Dr. Pepper in a long time.
Mm-mm.
Like
I seriously
full
want
blown.
one like once a year and maybe like 4 or 5 ounces of it.
Yeah. Or,
Okay. Being from Texas, do you call everything Coke?
yes, of course.
Okay.
There's Coke, and there's what kind of Coke?
Yes.
Yes.
So my kids, we lived next door to this family that was, let's just say the kids were homeschooled by Nintendo and and my kids would want to go play over there and it was just such chaos and I usually said no and usually had the kid come over to our house, but he would always be with a mountain, like he always had a Mountain Dew in his hand. And so I finally let my kids go play one day and I was like, do not drink any Cokes. And in my Texas mind, any Cokes meant any drinks in a can.
Mm-hmm.
And they came back and they were so stinking wired. I mean, like literally bouncing off the walls, like frantic. And I was like, did you guys drink Coke? And Grace was like, no, you told us not to. And I was like, what is going on? And she said, we didn't have Cokes, but we had Mountain Dew.
Oh my God.
And so from
So
that day, I learned that I had to clarify.
up here they say pop. So for those listening along, if you're not familiar with our the vernacular and the nomenclature we're going with here in Texas, so if a waitress comes up and says,
What
"What
kind
would
of
you like?"
Coke? Yeah. And you say a Coke, she'll say, what kind?
Exactly right. So ask me. You ask me. I'm ordering a steak at the
What do you
restaurant.
want to
Go.
drink?
I'll have a Coke,
What kind?
Dr. Pepper.
Boom.
Boom. And scene. Bring it down.
My kids were not born in Texas. They did not know
Right.
that. I apparently
So
raised them badly.
I remember specifically my dad saying, "Get Cokes or whatever," and you would
What
ask, "What
kind?
kind?"
And it was never Coke. It was usually Dr. Pepper.
Never Coke.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was always Dr. Pepper.
Some version of Dr. Pepper. Yeah. New
So
Coke, classic Coke.
there's only one. I remember when that happened.
New Coke was only like a year, right?
Okay, so what I told you was what I was telling you a while ago when my parents discovered I shouldn't be drinking Dr. Peppers. It was
Yeah.
also the summer that New Coke hit. It was also, yeah.
That was a short lived. That was like purple ketchup.
That was
Not
in
good.
was when I was in
It was in
Brownwood
the
at the
80s.
time. Stepdad, I was working for stepdad. We were working near Lake Brownwood at the time, doing a thing, and yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Long
don't
story.
remember.
So yesterday, I'm standing in downtown Grand Rapids. To quote Chase Easter, I was minding my own business, literally standing there on Bridge Street, downtown Grand Rapids. A fire engine comes by. And I want to be clear about this before I go any further. I love our first responders. I love cops and I love firefighters. I'm standing
Okay,
there.
whatever you're about to say, I am a
Mhm.
firefighter's biggest fan, so just know that.
Me too. Me too.
Okay.
But I'm standing there in downtown Grand Rapids. A fire truck is coming by, and who doesn't love a fire truck, right? Dude on the passenger side of Grand Rapids fire truck engine number 3 leans out the window and said, nice cowboy hat. Are you all hat, no cattle? Now, I didn't say a
Wait,
word.
were you running and wearing a cowboy hat?
No. This was later in the day. I already ran that one.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
something this particular firefighter can't do. I ran earlier in the day. It's going to
He
get
was
worse.
trying to
No. He wasn't. He was being an
Oh,
asshole, and this is only
okay.
going to get worse. Now, at that moment, I was standing there at the corner of Bridge and whatever the other street was, seriously minding my own business. But I was armed. I had a Glock 19 on my hip and more knives than he owns. And so I just kind of smiled and waved, and he went on by. But it was kind of in front of me. I was pissed. Ooh, I wanted to say something. Ooh, I was like, I wanted to be like, your mama this and your, but anybody that's ever had the level of training that you and I have, obviously, will tell you I did the right thing in not replying. I didn't respond because I was just like, you show right. You right, boss man. You got me.
That's it.
That's it. Just wave. But, and I'm looking at you, engine number 3.
He might have been trying to be funny, babe.
He might have been. But if you would like to find out, as the kids are saying these days, if he wants to fuck around and find out.
I don't think this is going to a good place. I don't think you threaten someone on the podcast after you say you're armed.
I was armed then. I'm not now, nor will I be later. If he wants to find out. If I'm all hat, no cattle.
I think that is
I can meet
actually.
I'll do this for charity. I'll do this for charity. No?
We're going to talk about this more off.
I'm off the air?
Yeah.
Here's what I'm thinking.
That you don't make threats like that.
Here's the thing.
Because you're responsible.
I'm not making threats. If I'd have been standing there in a turban or a yarmulke and dude had leaned out and made a culturally sensitive comment about me then, how is that different?
Is cowboy protected?
No, it's not. But you wouldn't say it. A yarmulke is not protected.
Is cowboy protected?
He didn't say cowboy. He said all.
Well, it's not a sign.
I forgot more about cattle than this asshole will ever know.
It's not a sign of your religious beliefs.
Doesn't have to be religious beliefs. My cultural background.
I don't know. That's food for
7
thought.
generations of it. So.
I think you're bored. If you're going to make a big deal out of that.
I'm not. We can meet in the gymnasium in front of school children.
I think it's ridiculous, and
I think
want to cut this part out of the.
What?
I want to cut this part out of this podcast. I'm embarrassed.
Come on, man.
No, I'm.
I'll do it for charity.
For you. No,
I'll do it for charity.
Seriously, stop. What's next? Do you want to talk about Syria?
Yeah, let's talk about Syria.
Tell me your thoughts on Syria.
4 years of no war, and now all of a sudden we're bombing Syria again in the first 100 days. That's all I got.
So didn't they actually hit one of our, not bases, but one of our places that we...
Allegedly, some rockets were shot.
Not allegedly. A contractor was killed and a serviceman was injured.
Okay, so... honestly,
that's not alleged.
Right, I know. And to be fair, Trump did drop the Moab bomb in his first 100 days as well. So yeah. We're calling it like it is. I mean, Trump. I think
this was a targeted thing because they didn't hit anywhere that there were civilians. It was meant to say, "Hey, this is what we can do," and I don't think caused any casualties, did it? Because it was just.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it did. I think it was just a, "Hey, don't hit us, or we'll hit you back."
So we're, again, if we're being 100% fair, and people forget this, but the biggest non-nuclear bomb we have is called the Moab. Trump dropped it in his first 6 months. He had Mattis do it. It remains to be seen as to whether or not President Biden will get us further into this. I honestly don't know. So
yeah, I hope we don't escalate. I don't think it necessarily will. I think it was just showing hey, don't do that.
I hope that's all it is. I'm gonna be honest.
We've already messed up so much in so many ways that it's easy for us to armchair quarterback from over here. But
that's another thing too. None of us were there. Could have been a situation. I mean, it may have been legit, maybe 1,000% legit.
Yeah. And I think they were very careful not to hit anywhere civilian. It was,
I think my
understanding is no loss of life.
I'm sure this has happened to every single president. I'm going to go back all the way to FDR. We've had to bomb or kill somebody, and the president has to take it on the chin for it. Well, maybe not FDR, maybe Truman with nuking Japan. From Truman forward, we've had to do something to somebody at some point, and it's not popular, or people have questions or whatever. And it's one of those things where, it's not, you can't tell, we judge Truman now for nuking Japan, but we weren't there in those days. So here we are with Biden, and Biden fired some rockets or did what he did or bombed somebody, droned somebody.
Mm-hmm.
However, and I'm not the first person to say this is looking a whole lot like the Obama administration, where we're droning and we're Navy SEAL Team Sixing our way through problems. We'll see. I don't know.
I think it's a little premature to say that.
It is very premature to say. This is, we're not even out of the first 100 days yet. Let's get 6 months into this. We'll see. But if 2 years,
50 million vaccines though. So
if we're 2 years into this and we're still doing the same thing, it's going to be an eyebrow raiser. So
yeah.
Vaccine COVID cases are down 70% nationwide. So
70% of what?
70% down, according to NPR.
Cool.
So I've heard there
vaccines in the first 30 days, right?
Now I have heard how many?
50 million.
First 30 days of what?
Biden's presidency.
They were doing 1 million a day in Trump's presidency, so I'm not sure. Yes, they were.
Not quite. Like that last week they were.
No. When Biden said we're going to do 100 million, we're going to do 100 million shots in the first 100 days, that math was already happening. So there are currently, the cases are down 70% nationwide. Other good news, in the nation of the United Kingdom, there have been no reported influenza cases. There's no flu.
Yeah, those masks actually might work because, yeah.
Now, I'm not in favor of us wearing masks.
I don't think anybody wants us to wear masks into oblivion, but if you're sniffling, sneezing, have a fever, have a cough,
that's what
anything that you would do with NyQuil, maybe you should wear a mask because you are saving grandma in a different way. Just a thought.
I'm ready to not be wearing masks everywhere I go.
I am too. But I think maybe one of the things we take from this is if you are feeling sick, maybe you wear a mask. They've been doing it for years and years in different parts of the world. And we usually have flu outbreaks. Do you want to go back to flu outbreaks and being sick 6 weeks out of the year because you're
I've never had that problem.
Cubby mate. I'm just saying, like, if you work in an office building, then your jerk coworker doesn't want to use a sick day, so they come in sick, and then everybody's sick, and then it takes you weeks, and then it starts over. You don't have that this year.
You've had coworkers that didn't call in sick when they were sick?
I've had coworkers who would come in literally with fevers, and we had to make them go home because they didn't want to waste their sick/vacation days. Because if they're combined, which a lot of large corporations will combine them, then you don't want to waste your vacation days on a little flu. I'm telling you, I've had those coworkers. Ask anybody who's worked in like a big office or corporation, they're there.
So I believe you. But in my current line of work, we do it a little bit differently. But in my line of work prior to this, when I worked for the state, you had a lot of sick.
You worked for the state, so people are like, "Oh, I might be sick tomorrow."
Right. That.
I think I feel a flu coming on next Saturday.
Knew those employees who, their friends, former roommates, cousins, distant aunt was sick, so they would call in sick. I'm not going to name.
They're the same ones who had 3 grandfathers die, so they could get
3. Yeah. 3's ass. Right. God dang, how many grandparents do you have? Go to the
seriously
funeral?
Yeah. So,
but
no, that's awesome that the cases are trending down, and I'm so excited because
trending downward. Hopefully, that will be, by the summer, maybe. I don't know. I've heard different things in the wind as whether or not like certain vaccines, like the Merck versus the Pfizer
Johnson, yeah.
Some of them are reacting like the younger generations, like, which I'm putting us in that. Like, it's good for the older generations, but not so much us, and definitely not for pregnant women. So it just kind of depends on which one. What was that?
I don't know.
What was that noise? I heard a noise.
I think it may have been Mutzi. I don't know. I don't know.
That dog.
Yeah.
Swear
All
to
I know
God.
is I will take the vaccine. Like they could come at me with the biggest hypodermic needle and I'd be like, do it.
Big old horse needle.
Oh, seriously. Like,
Stick it
do
in.
it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want us to be back to normal. I want my kid to go to college and be in a dorm.
I would prefer the version that only has one shot, not two, because, let's be honest. Who wants to do that twice?
Right. I don't
But,
care. Like, seriously, if they want me to take something every day, I don't care. I just want to
I'm
go back to...
I'm guessing just for me, probably it'll be.
What are you doing? Hey,
What are you doing?
quit shoe shopping. Dempsey, get down. Get down. He is literally shoe shopping.
Yes. That dog cost me a serious boot.
You've already talked about that.
I know.
I saw you.
I feel like it deserves revisiting.
Well, I'm glad COVID cases are going down. I hope that deaths are going down. There's a hospital in the LA area that's actually using, what was the treatment that Trump had and Giuliani and Ben Carson?
Hydrochloroquine?
No, it wasn't hydrochloroquine. It was something else. It was definitely something else. But it was a treatment that was rarely available. Like it wouldn't be available to you and me.
You mean that Trump got when he was president?
That he used, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name of it.
There is a hospital in a lower income area of LA, mostly minority neighborhoods, and they had an astronomical level of fatalities with COVID. And one of their doctors managed to get a hold of a large supply of whatever that drug was. And it was like a Christmas miracle that he was able to get it.
We'll call it the presidential treatment. How's that?
Only available to rich people previously.
Well,
but he was
whatever.
True story. Like it wasn't available to everybody.
Right.
So he was able to get a large quantity of it. And he has actually started proactively giving it to people who are sick with COVID, but not hospitalized. And it's IV. So they have to come in and do it almost like, I don't know, an IV antibiotic or something. Mm-hmm. But he has managed to keep every one of those people out of the hospital. Good. Which is amazing. So hopefully they'll make things like that more available to the everyday person so that we can move on and move forward, that along with vaccines.
That and herd immunity and getting past this and reopening the economy and mom and pop businesses and all of that.
We can agree on that. You and I can agree on something. Every episode, there's like one thing.
Here's another thing I know we agree on. I was in a record store today. I went to
Did you see a Prince record?
Do what?
Did you see a Prince record? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I did, but I already had it.
Okay.
So it was for Purple Rain. I already had that one. I asked them if they had Fleetwood Mac's Rumors, and that's all. Yes. That's almost like asking for a gold brick. It ain't gonna happen. They're not there. The guy was like, he was telling me this. This is the guy. We had somebody come in last week. He brought it in at 1:00. By 1:30, they had bought it and it was sold. That's how fast it goes. He goes, not only was it one of the biggest selling albums of all time when it was new, it's one of the fastest selling albums now in vinyl. They can't get it.
Everybody knows it. And like, honestly, I was listening to a song the other day on Spotify and then Fleetwood Mac came on after and Nate was like, are you listening to Fleetwood Mac?
What does Nate know about Fleetwood Mac?
Apparently everybody knows.
Well, yeah, but he's young.
TikTok.
But does he know Go Your Own Way?
I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
I mean, it was you and I that discovered Go Your Own Way at the same time, knowing, as far as
we've been singing along with it for decades and didn't know what we were singing.
And we didn't know what we were singing along with, didn't know what the whole backstory was. Thank you, Professor of Rock.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Well, I will keep my eyes peeled for that vinyl for you. Even though I have your record there.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I was trying to order. I was going to walk into that record store, find Fleetwood Mac's Rumors, and ship it to you as a random surprise gift. Just going to show up in your mail one day. On a Wednesday. Awesome. On a Wednesday, just at random.
That would be awesome.
No, it's not going to happen. So,
squad goals.
Squad goals. We'll see. You know, we'll see if it actually happens or not. I don't have anything else. You?
No, I'm gonna go watch Burn Notice with Nate.
Burn Notice.
Okay, and I know you hate Burn Notice.
I don't
Let me
hate
tell
Burn
you.
Notice. It's just not.
Oh, you hate Burn Notice. You leave the room if we start to watch it. Let's be honest. My ponytails are crooked. I gotta tell you, 10 out of 10 would recommend Burn Notice. It's got explosions. It's got gunfire. It doesn't have a bunch of blood.
Here's where you lose me on the gunfire, though. Is it real gunfire or is it CGI gunfire?
Well, it was the mid 2000s, so it was probably realer than you think. But it's got gunfire, it's got explosions, it's got bad guys get blown up, but you don't really see it, so it's okay.
So it's got 18 for like
it's got
2000s.
Yeah, kind of. It's got two storylines, one that's a thread throughout every season, and one specific to each episode. It's got Oscar-worthy performances by all the characters. Every time.
Whoa.
I laugh. I tear up. I laugh again.
Oscar-worthy performances.
I stand by what I said. I said
what
I said.
Wow.
You are missing out.
Wow.
It's flawless. I'm not sure what we're going to watch when we're done with this.
So you haven't been watching like The Crown or any of that other stuff that we talked about?
Burn Notice every night.
Burn Notice.
Every night. Apparently Nate needs a little more time before he rewatches Schitt's Creek. So I wanted to rewatch that. And he was like, no, too soon. So there are like 35 seasons of Grey's Anatomy. Maybe that's next. I don't know.
I did the first several seasons of Grey's Anatomy with one of those ex-wives of mine. I'm not doing it again.
No? Okay.
I picked up Vikings where I left off.
Yeah, you love Vikings.
There's a new season. I got kind of pissed off at some of it. It was getting a little bit there's too many plot lines going at the same time. I didn't like Ivar, who's one of the characters. He was really getting on my nerves, but things are kind of rolling down. I had to step away from it for a while.
I think I quit watching after like mid-second season, and I didn't dislike it. I just didn't like it enough to keep going.
I like it. It's just they need to it was getting kind of bogged down there for a minute, but I think they're kind of picking back up. So
yeah, cool. Well, maybe
we'll you talk about some women who did not take no for an answer and ran stuff. Women in the Viking days. You may think you're liberated now in 2021. Let me tell you about how some Viking women ran it. Now they run a sword through your ass. They just
you should be taking notes.
Yeah. What?
I'm kidding.
No.
Hey, you should come home pretty soon because I have been bored and I've started painting things. So.
You can also come here.
I know, but I've been painting things. So
what have you been painting?
Everything.
Are all of my deer antlers still the same color?
Raina and I should talk because I've been thinking about decorating some.
I gave Raina, massive shout out to my oldest daughter, one of my deer skulls.
Yeah.
That actually I gave it to her specifically because Cooper, rest in peace, messed it up. I had it hanging on the fence, drying out, and it wasn't 100% dry yet, and he could smell it, and he jumped up and grabbed a big old chunk out of it, right? So I skinned it for those listening.
And if he could, he would say, no regrets.
No regrets. He would totally. And so imagine you have a deer skull or any kind of skull you've ever seen in your life with about a quarter of it completely taken off. He did that.
He gave it to Raina.
Right. Because
she's been painting and decorating too.
I gave that to her specifically. She wanted one that was a little bit unconventional, like didn't look, normal or whatever. And I was like, oh, I got what you're looking for here. Come here, follow me. Gave her that one. Biggest deer I ever killed in Brazos County, Texas.
So tell me, are you opposed to rhinestones?
What are we doing? Who's wearing them? Is it something you're putting on?
No, we were talking about antlers, dork.
Oh, putting on antlers? Yeah, we probably shouldn't put rhinestones on antlers.
I kid. All right, I gotta go watch Burn Notice, and I gotta go take this dog out because
I'm all about that glitter, though. If you get some glitter,
we'll talk later.
What? Off air?
We have lots to talk about.
We do. All right. Cuckoo. Oh
If
wait, I
you
was gonna
did
say
this, I was gonna hang up on you.
what? I'm sorry. I kind of got lost in the moment there.
Hello.
Hey, as
So,
usual, Robyn is correct.
and Ryan is right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. You're funny.